Simon, our next presenter, over the span of more than 20 years, you're already here, Simon has accumulated extensive experience in the mining and commodities trading space, working for reputable companies such as Mincom, Ventyx, ABB, and now Datamine. At Mincom, Ventyx, and ABB, Simon gained a solid foundation in software development and related technologies. His transition to Datamine in 2019 and subsequent appointment as our principal product manager for MineMarket and Production Accounting obviously reflects his growth into a more strategic and leadership role. This shift has allowed him to not only contribute technically, but also guide and shape our product strategies. Additionally, Simon's involvement in both technical and business aspects of our enterprise software implementation projects within the mining and commodities trading domain allows him to effectively bridge the gap between technical complexities and business requirements. And to give you an idea of what that has culminated in, I will pass you on to Simon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right. Right, MineMarket. We're going to talk about my favourite topic now, MineMarket. I have been working with MineMarket for, as the introduction suggested, over 20 years. In fact, it's coming up to 22 years very soon. I've worked with the product from every single level of software development. So my life has been around technical development. I'm not a geo, not a mining engineer, I'm not a MET, I'm not any of you amazing people in the room. I'm a software engineer. So I am the principal product manager for MineMarket and Production Accounting. And as earlier mentioned, I have had 20 plus years in the software development industry. I've been developing software for the entire period of time. I was lucky enough to start off developing software from the ground up, writing the initial lines of code of applications, which are now rolled out these days, including MineMarket. MineMarket was started by ComLabs in Adelaide, where I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to write those first lines of code. So over the years, I've worked as a developer. Hasn't just been a developer role. I've worked as a developer, a consultant. I've been an architect, product owner, product manager now, and I've been involved with numerous implementations, including people in this room with MRL and Nickel West as well over the years, as well as overseas. So what we're going to work through next is just going to have a look at how MineMarket has progressed over the years and where we can go to from there. Now, my slide deck has been completely destroyed. So we're going to have to restart. This slide deck needs to be fixed. Can we get it changed back to my version? Please? We've got a technical difficulty. We've lasted all day. It's been perfect until I get up here. It would not be a developer demo without a mistake, would it? I can understand it, but the problem is it's not working very well.
Is it all right if
I've
we
got fancy slides.
Is it okay if we just skip?
Ruined it. That took me hours to do.
I don't.
Ruined it. Typical. Like developers, right? They go through and they spend all this time and passion on developing a software. They get it out to the market and they blow it up. Day one. It was so good too. What have you done?
I'm so sorry. I did nothing. Is it?
Which I'm really worried about the rest of the slides. If that's what's happened to that slide, I'm really worried about it. Okay, right. It was actually really cool. This is like merging across. Yeah, it was merging across. It was really cool. So it was supposed to unveil itself, but what it unveiled was a real problem. All right. And it was a journey we were going to go on as well, but it turns out to be a bit of a... Thanks, Hurley. Just what I wanted, up here, fully exposed. MineMarket version 2. This is where we started from many years ago. And it started with Visual Basic. Actually, it was Visual Basic 4 prior to MineMarket version 2. We actually had a 1.6 version, but we won't go back that far because it's even before. It's even earlier. It's before my time. Incredibly basic logistics capability, basic stockpile management. It was a lot of the calculations were done at the database level. So it was using a lot of SQL statements to calculate a lot of the stockpile states that we see these days on our logistics side of things. It had an incredibly basic contract management with zero invoicing capability. So it was a starting point. It was actually done, I believe, in conjunction with SGS at a mine in Queensland. So SGS had these results with C-Class, and they had these results coming out, and they weren't actually sure what to do with them. How do they apply them to the stockpile? So they need a solution now to track the quality against quantity. So that's where MineTrack originally came from. In 2002, we were lucky enough to start up a new project, which we call BulkTrack, which was version 3. BulkTrack was based on new architecture, and it was a complete rewrite. This is where we started on the new application. And what we ended up with by the time we'd finished BulkTrack version 3 was extensive material tracking logistics capability and some kind of rudimentary sales and commodity sales capability, but not a great deal of invoicing. It was pretty rudimentary. All built on .NET version 2. Where we've moved to since then, through the acquisitions over the years when we went into Mincom, where BulkTrack was acquired along with C-Class, as well as another application called Aramis, which was a sales and marketing application developed in Chile. We rewrote that sales and marketing capability inside BulkTrack to develop the MineMarket functionality. So that's where the sales and marketing functionality actually came from. It was from a company called Exedra, born out of Chile. MineMarket version 4, now we're starting to move into full sales and purchase contract management. Just sales and purchase though. Not a lot of other contract styles. We did have multi-stage invoicing, so provisionally invoices, final invoices, quotes as well, and some financial reevaluation. What was touched on earlier by Kirky was we introduced beta MML interoperability. So in MineMarket version 4, we put in that integration. That's when we developed it, and that's what was then rolled out at Guinea Illumina. Moved on to .NET v3. Then on to, so from 2018 onwards, which was just prior to the acquisition of Datamine, we started developing MineMarket version 5. And our biggest change in functionality in MineMarket version 5 is our ability to run as a commodity trading platform. Strange, I know, but what we had was this incredibly capable logistics and contract management. And when you look at the trading side of things, what the trading space is really interested in is purchase and sales. They have back-to-back sales and purchases along with hedging capability, so hedging the FX and prices to get a really good P&L on how they can make money on what they've purchased or what they're going to sell. You know, buy cheap, sell for more. Can you get a sales contract which is worth a lot of money, and can you buy material in at a cheap price, and that's where they make their money, as well as on fluctuations in FX and commodity prices. So MineMarket has that capability now. It can run as a commodity trading platform. May not be overly interesting to this group of people, but it gave us the capability of expanding our contract management side of MineMarket to be incredibly powerful. And there now aren't too many contracts, sales or purchase contracts, that we can't handle inside MineMarket. As well as that, significant performance improvements. So we've gone from typical mining operations where you have a couple of dozen people using the application to these commodity traders now as a couple of hundred people using them in parallel. So we've had to make sure that MineMarket can handle the additional load. And MRL are also testing our performance as well with their transaction loads, their truck loads. So appreciate it. Now, it's a slide deck, I can break it. Right. Whew. So far, it didn't break that slide. We'll see how we go. What's next? So we've got stockpile management, logistics, contract management, trading. Where do we go from here? So the next big thing, and I'm sure that this touches base with a lot of people in the room, if they are associated with any level of mining, it's going to be emissions tracking. ESG. ESG is the next big topic. Went to a mining conference a couple of months ago, and the entire conference was ESG. Everything was ESG. Every presentation was ESG. Everything had some slant towards ESG. And emissions tracking realistically is not that much of a stretch to think about how MineMarket can handle emissions tracking. It already has incredibly complex material tracking. If you're producing material, you're trucking it by rail, you've got your plants that are processing it, there's energy consumption there. Let's track the carbon emissions along with your material. So that is the next direction we're going to take MineMarket. and we're going to expand into that ESG space. Initially, we're going to start off with just tracking carbon along the supply chain, and then eventually we'll get into how we can track that carbon and include it into contracts as well, so that you can have green contracts. Strange, I realize, but there are actually coal contracts where they have green coal, where the coal itself is a cleaner coal, and it's been proven to have less emissions in generating that coal for sale. And you can put a premium on that. If you can put a premium on it, you can make money on it. It's sliding beautifully. Planning. Planning. MineMarket has some capability of planning, but it's not great, I'll be honest. We've had a couple of cracks at it, and it works for some operations. It works for the people who use it. It's good for them, but we want to improve it. We want to get it better. We want to have our planning rolling all the way through, from your mine plans rolling up to your sales and marketing plans, your demands in the middle, and try and drive that down to including your truck and train scheduling as well. That's going to be an interesting journey to implement planning, because there are applications out there which are specialized planning solutions. So we will take what we have in MineMarket and work to improve it. An extension of planning is blending. Blending as well across your plans. Typically, when you're trying to plan for material, you're planning for a particular quality. In particular, in the demand side, in the contract side of things, you're looking at what material do I need to have at what point for what value. And in order to achieve that, it's not often a case of having your stockpiles at the location that it's just going to be available just to blow straight into the ship to sell. So you're going to have to blend. It's very typical to blend. We do have blending inside MineMarket already, where we can take a whole bunch of known sources to achieve a desired result as a blend target. But that's only a single point in time. It's only a single time horizon, and it's fairly limited. We want to be able to include that blending capability into our planning module, so that when you are planning for material, you can go through your blending process to give you the best known material, best available material for the cheapest price, without people were talking about before, they were oversupplying material. They'll provide high quality material because they're close. They're not quite sure. They're not quite confident on their data, so they'll pump in some good quality so they don't go out of spec. This will help you avoid that. This will mean that you can provide the most optimal material without overspec, and of course without going under spec, which is even more important. We want to have in-flight blending, and in-flight blending will allow you to, whilst you're loading shipments with real-time information on your shipments, you've already got your samples going on there. You've probably got your rapid samples already. Online analyzers already giving your results back into MineMarket, already does that. But what happens if you happen to have picked up material from a wrong stockpile and it is starting to lean towards out of spec? We can then start to look at how we do in-flight blending to pick up material that's available on your stockpiles to blend better to achieve your target without going out of spec or blowing it completely over spec and sending them the best coal in the world. And multi-time period blending, where you can run blends over multiple periods of time and assume the previous blend has been executed, or even execute the previous blend with more material coming in. So it kind of becomes down to a planning style solution. So you can run multiple blends one after the other to give you a rolling blend. And this is a big area for commodity traders, risk management. We all understand risks within our business. We all understand the risks of underspec, of missing deadlines, of injury within our industry. But a big piece of the commodity trading space is risk management, and it's about understanding across your entire business what value you have on stock, what contracts you have already assigned. Sorry. I should have had the mic because I knew I was going to wander. What material you have on site, what you need to sell. So basically, if you were to liquidate, what would your assets look like at that point in time? It also gives you an understanding of what FX exposure you have, because often commodity traders will not fix their prices. They won't fix their prices or their FX until almost a deadline, or they'll partially fix it. They'll be incrementally fixing their FX and and material prices throughout a QP, a quotation period. And the reason why they do that is because they want to get like small little spot prices throughout that QP, so they get the best possible price. But what it does is it gives them exposure on a potential liquidation of that material that they haven't fixed a price with yet. Being able to understand all of those exposures is a huge advantage within the commodity trading space. And it will probably help miners as well, where they're looking at the contract side of things, if they're understanding on where they're selling their contracts, if they are hedging their prices, then they'll be able to use risk management to help them better understand where their stock position is, where their financial position is based on material on the ground. This is just a couple of the areas. These are just 4 areas of MineMarket we're looking to expand. There's absolute stack load more that we're trying to get through, but these are just the 4 that I picked out for the moment. Now, what's really important, MineMarket hasn't been developed by a bunch of tech heads sitting in a room coming up with the best solution for what we think the miners need. This solution has been developed by working with the miners, working with the experts. Like I said, I'm a software engineer, not a mining engineer, so you understand it better than we do. So, next step is get involved with us. If you are an existing MineMarket customer, or if you are planning on becoming a MineMarket customer, and this probably goes across all of our products, work with the product management teams. Arel's sitting there as well. Gary is sitting here as well. We have experts in the room who are interested in talking to you about what you see as important in the application. And if you want to become involved with any of these functionalities, or if you see something else that we should be doing, particularly MineMarket, come and speak to me. Now, everyone put their contact details on the slide. I've used a QR code. That's my contact details. So I expect cameras out. Should better scan it. Should we get my contact details from that? Assuming the slide hasn't broken. That's it.